Hello and welcome everyone to this interview with the light worker and body whisperer, Dorothe Trassl. Hello, Dorothe.
Hello.
Hello. Dorothe, thank you very much for coming to this interview. And it's so wonderful to have you on, and it's great to talk to you. And I'm so much looking forward to this topic and looking forward to you. So thank you that after those few years, we can have this interview again and we can talk about your beautiful work and beautiful people you have around you and beautiful events which are coming. Hello and welcome again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Hmm. Dorothy, first of all, I need to ask you because I'm really curious, why do you come so often back to Czech Republic? What brings you to Czech Republic and Slovakia? Because you have quite a few events here. What do you like about this area of the world, this part of the world?
To be honest, it's the people, as always.
Mm.
I mean, Prague is beautiful, Bratislava is beautiful, but what really touches my heart deeply is the people, the community that is here. And I must say, admittedly, I'm even trying to learn the language.
Oh, are
So
you?
I'm playing Duolingo, and I was trying to learn it. Ali brought me to that. I was trying to learn Slovak, but they don't have Slovak. So I'm trying to learn Czech because I
Mm.
really want to understand the language better. There is something in that consciousness here that is very unique.
Okay.
It's it's an honesty and truthfulness inside. I think this little, how can I say, it's an internal rebel that just needs to be true to themselves. And I love this because I feel there is a thirst for truth, there's a thirst for freedom, there's a thirst for authenticity, I would say.
Mm.
And also, what I loved is that during all these years, during COVID, everything, that people were actually still trying to stay connected. They were trying to be connected at the heart. And this is something very rare and very special.
Mm.
And the language is difficult.
Have you actually learned any words yet? Do you know any French
A
yet? No.
couple of words I have
Okay,
learned,
can you give
but
us
it
some?
doesn't reach very far. But I must say, I understand more and more. So my trainers say to me, I'm getting to be dangerous because I'm picking up on what they're talking about. Not the exact words, but roughly what they are talking about. I'm starting to pick up.
Mm.
And I really love this. It's
Mm.
very different to German and different to English, but you know better than me. It's a beautiful language. I
Mhm.
love it.
And you have all German origin, right? You come from
I
Germany.
have German origin, yes.
Mm. Dorothy, you work with people, you work with
Yes,
trauma,
yes,
you work with emotions.
yes.
Your program is called, or one of them is called E-motion. Uh, what does it mean? Why is it E hyphen motion? Because it's like email or e-commerce business, or why is it E-motion?
I know nowadays there's a lot of E in motion. But
Lots of
when
E.
I came up with this is actually so many years ago, that's more than 10 years ago, 15
Mm.
maybe. Um, I came up with this emotion because when I, in my distant past, I had problems with my own emotions. I thought my emotions were kind of like enemies or something to avoid or something to not have or to control or to manage or to push away. And only when I found out that I can open with my emotions, I can move with my emotions, I really got it. I really found myself, I found my truth, I found my source. And what I also found out is that emotions are just energy that gets us into motion when we listen. So
Mhm.
emotions are actually that little spark, that little information that wants to make something flow. And
Mhm.
when you're not blocking them, when you're not trying to control them or not have them or push them away, they are actually beautifully rising and falling. They keep you in flow.
Mhm.
And this is why I came up with this E/motion because it's energy in motion. So
Energy.
for me,
Mm.
emotions are energy in motions and only in motion. And only when I block myself, so when I stop, when I'm trying to hold on, or like I'm trying to protect or save myself from something, this is where the trouble starts.
Mhm.
But when I allow it to flow, when I allow it to really rise in the body and fall away, and not acting on it, or, you know, not making a story about this or anything. When I'm allowing the pure energy to be felt and to move through me, then it makes sense to me. This is why I thought the title would be more telling. I mean, nowadays, okay. But I thought it's meaningful. It was meaningful for me.
Thinking about emotions, and I talked, you know, for myself at this moment, why do we fear it so much? Why do we fear emotion? Why do we try to get rid of emotion when it actually comes to us? I have my own way. That's the reason why I have 135 kilos. The way I get rid of emotion is food.
Yeah.
The food, especially like if it's gluten-based food. So any bakery, you know, I know that it like gets me to the zero emotion, you know. So anytime I feel it, anytime I feel really good in my life. I mean, I have some success in my life, or if I have some reason to be down, that in both of those emotions, positive and negative, let's call it, let's name it. I always try to get it to zero with food, and I don't let the emotion actually go through. And I somehow, if I feel embarrassed to have this emotion, if I feel unsuccessful at the moment, you know, I'm a businessman, so I feel it in my work on daily basis, basically. So, you know, if the client tells me, no, I don't want to buy it, I feel bad. If they say, yeah, let's do it, let's go for it, I get my, you know, commission, my business, yeah, I feel great. And then I've recognized that in both of those cases, I can't stand the emotion and I have to get it to zero, and I do it through food, you know.
Yeah.
Long question, sorry, but
No. It's perfect examples, because many of us, I include myself in the past, I'm more, how can I say, more open with my emotions now. But in the past, I also had my techniques of avoiding them, suppressing them, pushing them away, because I had not learned from my parents that emotional intelligence and what they actually mean, what they want to tell us, and how to manage my emotions. I thought I need to not have them because they are so powerful, they are so intense, and some of them hurt, you know, they are not comfortable. I mean, when you're really getting angry, it's a discomfort that you feel in the body when you're really getting angry, or when you're getting sad. There is some how can I say, sensation in the body that we are trying to run away from, because we feel out of control. It feels like the emotions are doing us, and it feels like we are not at choice anymore. But the problem is we are not at choice anymore because we are trying to avoid the emotions. If we would learn anew, and this is what I'm trying to do with the seminars I'm giving, when we will learn anew how to be with our emotions, how to embrace them, and how to feel them and open and let them go, then emotions get the place that they actually need. They are like children. I mean, you have children, I have children. You know, your children, you don't kill your children, you don't push them away, you don't lock them in the cupboard. That's not what you do. But you also don't let them drive your car. Okay? So when you're driving your car, you put your children on the back seat. Okay? You make them nice and secure. You listen to them, you look after them, you care for them. Okay? Their input is very valuable, but the decision about the traffic and where to go and when to park, that's yours. And with our emotions, it's a little bit similar. They are a very important, beautiful, magnificent, energy giving, inspiring, creative, and all knowing part of us. But they don't drive the show. So I'm not advocating when you get angry, hit somebody. Absolutely not. But I'm saying, listen to your anger. Listen. Is one of my boundaries violated? Do I have to set a boundary? Is somebody taking something away from me, or is somebody doing something that I don't like? Do I need to act on this? And then make a wise decision. But listen to anger. If I avoid my anger, I'm avoiding conflict, and then I get into deep trouble. Because anger, when anger is not driving my car, but when anger is on the back seat, anger is telling me this is not all right. And then I can look at the situation and have the clarity, the wisdom, the direction understanding to say, no, thank you, but no. If I don't have anger, I'm going to be people pleasing, or I'm going to whatever. If anger is driving my car, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to be defensive, something like that. But when I can make a wise decision, guided and supported by my anger, I will have exactly the strength that I need to be clear in that situation. And this is why I think people have, or me, you, us, we have problems with the emotions because we haven't learned that they are beautiful. My parents haven't taught me. They didn't know. You know, they were World War II survivors. I'm German, Germany, World War II. My parents both still experienced war. And for them, feeling emotions was not the top priority, okay? Survival was the top priority. And how to deal with emotions in that time, it was just suppress them, get on with it, you know? And after the war, this was also not a time to really grieve because you needed to take care, you needed to build things. So emotions were far away. They were in the boot of the car or left behind on the parking lot. And so I had to learn myself. I had to learn anew.
And could you help me? Could you advise me what to actually do? What to do in case that those emotions like take over? When they take over and I feel this is the moment when I need to level myself, to get to this zero, to be without emotion. How to actually walk with it so I don't have to do it through food. And somebody, I believe, does it through drugs. Somebody does it through the smoking. Some people do it through different kinds of distraction porn, maybe. What to do in this case when you feel the emotion and you feel the pressure, like that you need to get rid of it, that it's not the right thing. How to actually feel it? How to, I don't want to say get rid of it because we don't want to get rid of those emotions, but how to put them on the back seat?
Yeah. Well, I use a lot of breathing, you
Breathing.
know, pause and breathe. So, of course, it needs a little bit of practice. So, first of all, you need to find the safety and the security in yourself, in your own body, that you know for a fact that you will survive your emotions, you know?
Okay.
You know that I work as a psychotherapist, I work as a body worker and trauma therapist. And when I have people that have been traumatized, they don't feel safe in their body. They don't feel safe with their emotions. So first of all, we have to establish that safety again. But let's say you are a person like you and me, it's not major trauma, but it's just life that happened. Then there is a possibility that you learn to be with yourself, to breathe when you feel this, because if you would pay attention, you would notice that with every emotion, there is some contraction in the body. You can feel, anger is giving you like a fist in the belly or like heat in the heart, and sadness is making a lump in your throat. And then you want to get away from that discomfort. So you don't like it, okay? That thing in the throat, you don't like it. It makes you agitated. It makes you want to run away or eat. And before you go to the fridge, you can actually pause. It needs a bit of training to catch that moment and say, okay, I pause here, I breathe. And then I open towards myself, okay? So when you're reaching for the fridge, have a little sign on your fridge, stop. You know, from the London subway, mind the gap. I had this on my fridge for a while because I was the same. I was reaching for something.
Oh, yeah.
I had this big mind the gap. And when I saw this, I took this gap, I took this moment, this break, I was breathing. I was opening. So what am I really feeling?
What am I
Because
really
then you
feeling?
will discover I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm bored, I'm lonely, I'm happy, I don't know, tired, exhausted, frustrated, upset, something, you know? And then I can be curious and I can listen to that emotion and say, oh, thank you. What exactly do I really need in that moment? Do I definitely need food, or do I need a hug, comfort, call a friend, go for a walk, stretch, cry a little bit, hit a pillow, breathe some more, scream, shout, shake? What is really needed? You know? And also I'm doing trainings also with business people, with managers. Emotional intelligence and the ability to manage your feelings, not to suppress them, but to be informed by them and not act upon them, is one of the top 10 things they look for in business, in the higher ranks, because emotional intelligence is needed to understand other people and to understand yourself and to keep your ego in check. Because when your ego is coming into the boardroom, then trouble is entering. Because it's not about the task at hand, it's about everybody playing according to their own strategies. But when we want to keep strategies out of the picture and work on a task or be truthful or productive or creative, ego is always in the way because it's a survival strategy. So being able to feel your emotions, you know, not to act upon them, but to feel them and to understand what they want to tell you, and then to choose wisely, is something that is worth investing time and money into. So more and more trainings are about ego, emotional awareness, present moment awareness, consciousness, all of this.
So people can actually learn to control this on your events, on your
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you work with this.
Yes, I work with both sides because some people feel at the mercy of their emotions. Some people feel I'm having too many emotions. I'm so angry all the time, or I'm so sad. I feel depressed. So for them, emotional regulation is very important so that they can come back to their own strengths, to their own center, and feel, okay, I'm the one making the decisions. I'm the one in the driving seat. Okay, my emotions are not something horrible that is happening to me, but something that is happening inside of me that I can absolutely listen to and then decide differently. And then there are other people who have trouble experiencing emotions at all. I mean, you know about trauma, you know there's fight and flight, and you also know there's freeze. And some people have been frozen in their emotionality for so long that they feel, I can't really feel my emotions. I don't know what they are. I feel nothing or numb, or whenever a feeling arises, I'm just checking out. Thank you very much. And so it's both, you know, and none of this is your fault. None of this is wrong. It's simply that your nervous system is, we call it dysregulated, because it is pushed into survival. Instead of being above the line, being your full potential, being open, being honest and authentic, maybe a little bit active, like you're doing sports, or maybe a little bit quieter when you're having a deep talk or a hug or a meeting or an intimate conversation, you know? But many people are below the line where we say the ego gets in check, your survival, your defenses, you know, your strategies of coping come along. But when you are below the line, you are not resourceful anymore.
I see.
You know that the minute you reach for the fridge, you don't really feel empowered. You don't really feel strong. Oh, I didn't feel that. I don't know
You feel that you've lost.
You lost it, yeah.
I've
And
lost
then
it again.
and you know, the people are looking for a way to get into life, out of survival back into living. And this method of allowing the flow of emotions, of opening with the body and being present with this is, how can I say, is for many people the starting point of a very different life. Because then they are not at the mercy, they are not running after that car, but they are actually feeling as if they are in the driver's seat.
I like what you said at the beginning, that you have to realize that you're not gonna die, probably from the emotion that is not gonna kill you. Then it's actually coming to tell you something about how you really feel. And, you know, every time you just shut it down, you don't actually find this information there because you just get rid of it and it has to come again. And then it comes, you know, again and again, and it takes decades, and you just don't learn the information it's coming to teach you.
Yes.
So that's why the lesson is being repeated.
Yeah.
Because you
Tell
don't.
me about it. You know, I personally, when I was still in this, oh, I need to defend, I need to fight my emotions, I felt like a spring, you know, like when you load a spring, and then you load it a bit more, and you load it a bit more, and you load it a bit more, and then you can't hold it anymore. It does doing. So it was like, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm already feeling weird. I go into the kitchen, then there's no coffee anymore, or this and that happens. And, you know, I load my spring, I get out of the house, the bus is gone, I load my spring, I get into work, you know, there's no paper in the copy machine, and so on. You know, you load. And then finally, a colleague comes in, very nice and kind colleague. You love them a lot, but then they say to you, oh, you look bad today. And
yeah, it could be tiny thing and it just gets you exploded.
And you just blow it. Or you survive the whole day, including the colleague, but then you come home and your lovely husband asks you what's for dinner, and you...
Dorothe, may I ask you a personal question, you know, from my point of view, personal, about my family, because I have a 10-year-old daughter. Her name is Evelina, and she is a mirror to me. All the emotions which I'm not capable of, managing, I can't manage. She's the one who pushes my red button, and I always explode. And my wife, Lucy, she always says that she doesn't do does much, but she just knows what to do to get me going. And she brings my emotions so much up, through the tiny things, but it's like few times a day. And I'm thinking how to actually deal with it, because she's like me when I was little, when I was 10. She's the same, and she just reminds me of what I need to learn, and I don't really know how to work with it. How can I walk with my daughter? From our interview, you've already found out that I don't have my own emotions, fully in control. So how to work with kids who actually bring this up, who remind you of what you need to work on? How to work with it?
Well, I would always suggest working on yourself, and you can have the assistance of your daughter, but you can make it playful. You can be honest with your daughter and you can say, I envy you for the free flow of emotions. What I have too little, you have a bit much of. Can we just make a deal? And then you make it playful. Okay. So she is play acting, and you can invite her to play act. So she is allowed to play act an emotion, and you have to guess which one is it. Okay. And then you have to copy it with your own body. You play act the same emotion, and she can say, yeah, I believe you, or not, So you make it a play so that your body starts to learn how a body looks when it's sad, angry, stupid, curious, fun, provocative, aggressive, whatever. So that your body starts to get the moves again.
Okay.
And then validation. If you don't want your daughter to explode or make you explode, a great idea would be to slow yourself down in the reactions, because probably your daughter is poking and prodding you a couple of times before you do both. Okay. And a great idea can be that you get so curious about your own body reactions that when she first time pokes you, you say, oh, interesting. That is pokey or pinchy. This is, I don't know, describe it, It's like there is a little nail, it's stinging, it's hot, or it's cold. You just describe it to yourself. You slow down. And then you tell your daughter, this is funny. When you just did this, said this, my body did, and you tell her, sting or close or twitch or tickle or something like that. And she will say, uh-huh. And then you both get curious about that, because she's probably trying to tell you something. She's probably trying to look for an emotional connection, but she doesn't get it because you are peaceful. And then she's trying a little bit more, but you are still moving back, peaceful. I don't want that emotional crap. And then she's trying more and you're moving back more. So if you had the courage to stay and be honest and tell her what's happening, then the two of you could find a connection.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll definitely try that.
Because on the one hand, you are learning the physical feeling of emotions, because emotions are not separate from the body. They happen inside the body. And with absolutely every emotion, there is something happening in the body. It's a sensation, something tightening, something opening. You know, your body reacts. It's like, oh, when you get sad, you drop. When you get angry, you puff up, you know? When you get fearful, you get lightweight and you turn away. You want to run away, you know, want to turn away. So your body is preparing for an action. And this is what you feel. And this is what's so unpleasant. Let's just assume, this is just a play, okay? Let's just assume you are somebody who is loving to be peaceful and in harmony and quiet, you know, and just blissed out and enjoying life. And your daughter is somebody who likes a bit more action, you know, then you two have a bit of a frequency collision here. But your body can do, like her body, excitement, enthusiasm, and joy can do that. But you just have a preference of a different way, you know? But when your body is always trying to make everything peaceful and harmonious and balanced and quiet, it can feel, I'm not saying you do that voluntarily, but it can feel to her like you're taking energy out. So she's putting more energy in.
Oh, you like just look like her a little bit. The moment I go, you look like her. How did you do that?
Yeah, I have something for you. Wait. While we were talking about this, I don't know whether I had this last time. Do you know that this was designed by my Czech soundy David?
Okay. So
yeah, this is the nervous system wheel. Can you see this kind of?
Yeah, I can see it. Welcome, safety.
There's a little unicorn in the middle. That's you or me or somebody. Okay. And our emotions are everywhere around that little unicorn.
Okay.
And you see there's a green area, there's a red one, and this is blue. Let's say that's blue.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a little arbitrary line here. You know? See that? So everything that is above the horizon is easy, okay? Connection, communication, curiosity, friendliness, yeah, all good. And a little bit of action like dancing, sports, fun, enthusiasm, also good. And a little bit of blue is calm, peaceful, quiet, you know, like connected, deep, intimate, something like that. But when we go below the line, our nervous system pushes more of that energy. Red is the power, you know? And then the emotions go more into that corner, either fearful or angry or active, you know, defensive, like this. Or in the blue zone, it becomes quieter, sad, grieving, withdrawn, you know, shaded, subdued, something like that. So if one person likes the blue area and one person likes the red area, where do they actually meet? You know? So they need to both go into this regulated area of the green so that they can meet. Okay? But people don't know how to move around in their nervous system. Okay? So your nervous system might like to be quiet. Okay? Nothing. And her nervous system likes action. It's just a preference. Okay? It's not right and wrong. It's just different. So, but both of you can learn to actually meet in that green area.
Okay, so that's where we can
meet. Inducing a little bit of energy and her taking a little bit of energy out, and then you can move here. Okay, you can play together, and then you can be quiet together and deep. And then, you know, you move here instead of boom, dropping below. That's below the line. That's the area of the ego and the defense mechanisms. So people learn to use the breath and the movement to actually regulate the nervous system and the emotionality. Because the body is the one doing this. Sorry. You want to go?
And what if I'm in the top area, on the green?
In the green?
And she's down in the red, down the bottom, and she basically just pulls me down, you know, to my blue area, and that's where we actually meet. You know, because sometimes I'm feeling good, I'm fine. And like when she comes and just says something, it pulls me, you know, right down, and I have the energy just goes down, and so does this happen? Because sometimes I really feel well, but she just says something and it just takes me down.
Yeah. This is so very typical, and we could dig in a little bit, but there is a possibility. I'm fantasizing here. There is a possibility that you are kind of like allergic to too much red. So it could be that in your past or as a child, something happened when you or somebody else was in the red zone. So maybe somebody was angry and hurt you, or you got scared or something like that. Or you were angry and somebody else told you that's not all right, or you were punished for that or something. There is the possibility that your body does not like the red, fiery, enthusiastic, you know, it's a possibility, you know, just exploring. But your body absolutely has the full clock, okay? So your body can learn that a little bit of red is actually okay. And this is why I suggested learn with your daughter. Start to do some more active things so that your body finds secure, safe connection to a bit more red. Because if what you're describing is she's in red, when you can stay in green, no problem. You can regulate her because you're the parent, okay? Your nervous system is stronger. But if you get allergy here, if you get a trauma response, you say red, danger, no, okay? And you, boom, you collapse down here because you need to kind of like, inside of you, a switch gets pulled and says, we don't do this. It's not okay. We don't do this. We have to shut down. And this automatic shutdown is something that probably, because you mentioned earlier that you've done shaking before, it is a possibility that if you do more of that safe shaking, that your body starts to get used to more action and more activity, and it becomes safer. More red becomes safer. Because at the moment, obviously, when this is rising in the body, your nervous system says, danger, we need to avoid this. We can't do this. And this is why your body automatically shuts down. But when you pay attention, so like when you're rolling the cameras back into that situation where your daughter is doing something and it kicks you out and it shuts you down, you might notice that right in that moment before you shut down, there was an emotion rising inside of you. And that emotion rising inside of you was a signal to your body, we don't do this.
That's probably the case, yeah, because that's why I feel it triggers me immediately. So there has to be some trauma there, you know.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know whether we did that last time, but there is a very small little safe and easy exercise that we can do to get familiar with the different feelings in the body, because your body can, absolutely, your body knows and can feel safe. The idea is just to expand safety, to expand this anchor in safety and security and make it so strong that you can take more and more and more of whatever without losing it. So we call it opening the window of tolerance, so that you can tolerate more activation or more deactivation, more emotions, more feelings in the body, more sensations. And the basic principle is you find the good spot. You find, okay, where does my body feel good? And you find the place where the body does not feel good. And then you let them integrate. Because here it is. All of us are absolutely capable of feel the whole range. Okay? It's just that some areas for us are marked danger. So they are marked like, ooh, dangerous territory, we don't go there. And this is why we're trying to avoid it, because it doesn't feel safe. But when we increase the level of safety inside the body, in ourselves, then we are more available and more is available to us. Do we have the time to do that, or do we do that in the end?
Well, how long time does it take? It's for a few minutes, or
it's only a few minutes. It's really an easy exercise. It's only a few minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Shall I guide you?
Well, I can't guide you, please. Yes.
We could do it together, but it's nicer if I can watch you, because then I can also feed it back to you. Okay?
Yes.
So just sit comfortably and close your eyes and just take a deep breath and relax for a moment. And because this is about body awareness, take your time, 1, 2, 3 breaths. Just yourself in your own rhythm, just some slow breath, and connect to your body. And if that picture helps you, you can imagine that when you're breathing out, you're sliding, gliding down into the body. Maybe you imagine that your awareness, your consciousness is gliding into the body like a hand gliding into a glove. Beautiful, amazing. And now, just because we humans are made this way, that we are always looking for the danger, for the negative first, just scan your body very politely and gently. And is there any area in your body right now, as you're sitting here, that is a bit grumpy, not feeling great, maybe tense, maybe complaining? So just find some little area. Do you have one? Oh, great. So what is it?
I feel like on my shoulders, like here, there's
Yeah.
something in tension.
Yes, beautiful. And now your task is to do absolutely nothing. Just have your awareness on that area, on your shoulders. And for yourself, you don't change it, you don't judge it, you don't tell yourself a story about it. You simply watch it. You just be curious, okay? You have sensations in your shoulders. Great. Some tension, something is meh. Just be with that murk. You do nothing, okay? You just watch it. What happens?
I feel suddenly very sad, and
Yes,
I
beautiful.
feel tears coming into my eyes.
Oh, beautiful. Can we allow them just for a breath or two? Just be gentle. Yes, beautiful, amazing. Good. And again, you do nothing. You just open with this. You soften with the sadness, with the tears, and you allow the shoulders to be exactly as they are. Beautiful.
Like if the weight on my shoulders is just too heavy.
They are too heavy. Yes. This is a valuable information. Something is very heavy on your shoulders. Your shoulders don't like that. It's too heavy. But this is a judgment. So we let the judgment go and we just tell the shoulders, I hear you. Yes. Yes, it's too much. And you just keep on breathing, keep on feeling, keep on opening. What happens when you rest your awareness on the shoulders and you allow the tears and the sadness to come through and you acknowledge it? You simply say, yes, that's it. Ah, no. Lieto. So, what happens when you just let it be what it is and you just allow it to be there? Shoulders are allowed, sadness is allowed, even tears are allowed. What happens?
Like before, I felt angry and I felt guilt, some kind of.
Wow,
But
amazing.
now I feel it's like some kind of relief that.
Ah, beautiful. You already have relief. You are quick. Just out of curiosity, when you were feeling anger and guilt, was it still in the shoulders or did it move? When you felt anger and guilt, was it still in the shoulders or somewhere else? Where was that?
Well, I felt like stiffness in like top half of my body, in
Okay.
my hands and then my stomach and so I felt it like everywhere, like if you
Yeah,
if
good.
you describe it.
And you did something beautiful now. I just tell so that the audience also know what's happening. You pulled your shoulders up, you made yourself little, and then you let it go. You let your shoulders drop, you let everything drop. So would you like to do that again? Just do that again. Yeah, exactly.
I feel
And
like
then go.
Incredible Hulk, he's in
Yeah.
this green angry mode.
Yeah, you can hulk about. Wonderful. And then you let it go again. What happens?
I now feel pain on my chest, you know.
Good.
Mm.
Beautiful. And when you just rest your awareness with this pain on the chest and you just soften it and you open there. Beautiful. What's happening?
I feel calm.
Yeah, wow.
I
Amazing.
like if I feel the warmth and the light of the sun.
Wow. Wow.
And it, it just, when I stop, when I don't pressure myself
Yes.
to do something about it,
Yes.
when you make me like stop and just feel it, I feel that just, it doesn't go away, but it just feels accepted.
Accepted. Yes. And now rest your awareness, please, on this. I think it was in the chest where the light and the warmth was coming, right? And the acceptance. Was it in the chest or is it somewhere else?
So sorry, I don't understand.
The good feeling that you just had, the relief and the acceptance and the warmth and the light. Where is that? Is that still in the body somewhere or is
Well,
it?
it was still in the area when, at the
Yeah.
shoulders, and then
Yes.
I felt it here. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And now rest your awareness on that. And again, nothing to do, just to open with that, just to be with that. Beautiful. And your face was lighting up. So what's happening here?
I just realized how beautiful it is to not to do anything, just to do nothing.
Yes. Just to be.
Just this stillness,
Yes.
everything.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing. So good.
I just feel, sorry for that I don't actually do this in life, that
Yeah.
I can't do nothing, that it's still buzzing in my head, and, this stiffness in my body.
Yeah.
Like with you now here, I feel like how easy it is.
It is. Yes. And now let your body know. Just you tell your body, you yourself, you let your body know, you know what, dear body, I'm going to listen to you more often. Aha, see how the chest is lifting? And here's the smile. And what's your body telling you? What's your body saying to that?
Like if it says finally, you fool.
Finally, you fool. We delete the fool.
uh, like fool for not have listened to it before.
Yes, amazing. So
Mm.
what kind of energy is it now? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? What's happening in the body?
It's great. It's very nice. I could stay in this for hours.
Yes, beautiful. And just out of curiosity, what's happening in your shoulders? Because they were lifting, they were moving a little bit. So what's happening in your shoulders? How do they feel?
They feel relieved.
Yes, and you can move them because they had the little itch, they were trying to move a little bit. So let them.
Oh.
Ah, see, haha, that's a good sound.
Mhm.
Yes, so how do they feel now?
I feel goosebumps all over my body now. It's
Yes,
nice. It's very nice
yes,
feeling.
amazing. Thank you so very much.
Ooh,
That was quick.
it's how hard is it to not to do anything, just to do nothing.
It's the hardest thing.
It's the hardest thing to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dorothe.
Yeah, and this is what people discover, and this is like light bulbs and Christmas trees. It's like, whoa, it's that easy. Well,
Mm,
sometimes we are sitting with somebody and it is a little bit easier. But when you've done it a couple of times, it goes on autopilot. Your body is going to remind you.
mm,
Next time you feel some, you're going to remind yourself, oh, let me just let go of that tension and see what is here.
mm,
Because you know exactly, like your daughter, your beautiful daughter, your mirror, by her posture, by her face, by her energetic aura, by her body language, you know exactly in what kind of mood she is, isn't it?
mm, mm,
You know she's tight and tense and
mm,
aggro, and
mhm,
you know, oh, she's playful, she's open here. And
mm,
you know, oh, she's sad, something's happening. You know exactly because
mm.
you can read her body, but you're not reading your own body. Ah, here was the big sigh. Did you notice you were taking that big breath? You can do the same with yourself because you notice when you start to tense up, we do not pay attention, but everybody tenses up, in the bum or in the chest or in the shoulders. When something is happening, when they get defensive, they, you know, you can see that, you know. As a trained therapist, of course, I'm trained to look for that. But everybody can look for themselves for the signs of, oof, something is happening here, and then relax towards that, just a breath. So even if you're in your business meeting or even in your family situation, when you notice your daughter is coming in a certain state, your body is already preparing, you're tensing up. Take a breath, breathe it out, relax the tension, open and notice what's happening with your daughter. When you're breathing out, opening towards her, as if you're reaching out from your heart, instead of defending, closing, trying to push it down. What happens when you breathe, open, you know, like open your chest? Brené Brown said something that was influential for me. She said, strong back, soft front, wild heart. And I thought, whoa, lady, that's it.
Wild heart.
And we have it the wrong way round. You know, we harden on the front, we protect, we defend, but we feel weak in the back. We feel threatened. We feel, you know, and our heart is timid. We have it the wrong way round. Strong back.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much. Let's talk about your events. You come into Czech Republic, you come into Slovakia, you come into Estonia, you said. So could you invite whoever is actually looking at us to I know that you have in October in Bratislava, in Slovakia, from 25th till 27th. That in September, there's on 24th and 29th September, there will be E-motion retreat in Czech Republic on Lipno. What are those events going to be about? Who is it for? And if whoever is looking at us is interested, and you are so interesting person, you know, Dorothe, you are so beautiful, you know, you're so kind. I feel so much love from you. You know, it's so pleasant to talking to you. So if someone would like to come to see you in person, what are those events going to be about? You know, can you say something about it?
Well, let me start with the event that is actually the first one in the row. Now in September, the 5 days. They happen in Lipno, in that beautiful nature reserve. And it's actually, it's a cooperation between the Czech Republic and Slovakia. They do that seminar together. And this seminar is really all about, you know, connecting with your emotions, connecting with your body, healing this fight with yourself, healing that ego, defense, strategy, survival mode, healing that, and finally feeling good. Like those 5 minutes that we had now, where you say, oh, that feels so good. These whole 5 days are all about that. So we do movement, something like yoga, but it's very easy. It's for everybody. You know, it's like, even if you're disabled or something's wrong with your body, everybody can do that. And it's all about connecting to yourself and your body and feeling good again. And this is why it's called the Feel Good Retreat, because it's really about stopping the fight with food, stopping the fight with addictions, stopping the fight with the emotions, and really being authentically at home and feeling good in your own skin. And the reason why I start with this one is because my promoters in the Czech Republic, and probably in Slovakia too, but I definitely know in the Czech Republic, they have a last minute invitation because we only have a very few places left. It's almost fully booked, and the hotel is limited in space. And they have a last minute, it's like a holiday invitation, okay? So if you feel called to learn more about your body, your emotions, if you want to really feel good, this is the one to go. And it also includes assisted floating, which is not like you're floating alone in a tank in the dark, but it's a heated pool where people together allow each other to float with the eyes closed. And it's amazing how your nervous system can release, relax, and heal when you are being held and assisted in the pool while you're really letting go. So it's amazing the results we get. And because it's in that beautiful hotel in nature, you get lots of times for massages, for the spa, for the sauna, for the steam baths. You can walk, you can jog, you can go to the lake. And we have our own therapists there that offer treatments and body work with my method and with massages and Lumi Lumi and everything. And you can actually pamper yourself. So it's like a healing holiday, actually.
Okay, I suppose.
And the reason we do this is because the main thing is when we are at home in our skin, when we feel good about ourselves, when we can be fully ourselves without all these defenses, we are very pleasant people. People very organically, when they are in green, they are friendly, they are connected. And so many of us, we isolate and we defend because we are lonely, we are disconnected from ourselves, from others. And this is a retreat where we reset in community. So it's really something to pamper yourself.
Okay, that's fun.
The other seminars in Prague and in Bratislava and in Tallinn, they are weekend seminars only. So it's not residential. So the 5 days in Lipno, they are in that hotel with all the amenities around them. And the weekend seminars is a combination about learning about the emotions, the nervous system, the body, trauma, what trauma does for the body. And the one kind of workshop, the emotion trauma release, is about really resetting the nervous system. Learning a little bit, but not sitting on the chair and listening for hours, but it's very organic. It's an integrated learning. So I teach a little bit and then we put it in practice. And it's about really learning what your trauma did to you and how to release it now, how to really be yourself and how to move on, how to empower yourself. And the other one that's also very dear to me is the inner child. Because inside of us, there's a little one. And like you said, when you got triggered, you know, when your daughter, our children do that. I've got 3 children myself. My God, they can trigger me. I'm telling you. I'm fully with you on that one. And when we get triggered, we are not our resourceful, strong, empowered adult self anymore. But we kind of like regress to a small version with a big, pokey ego that's ready to attack and ready to defend. And the inner child is looking at, okay, so what happened to you in your past that made your ego be like this now, made you be who you are now, made your strategies so rigid and so hard. And what we find is more important than what happened, what you remember what happened, is what did not happen. My parents could not accept my emotions. My parents did not accept this. I didn't feel loved by my parents. I didn't feel connected to this and that. I didn't feel the support for that. It's so difficult for children to put words to what does not happen. You don't know how it feels to be fully supported and emotionally validated. You don't know what that feels like. To be completely accepted in all of your emotions, and an adult, regulated, calm self helps you to figure out what to do with your body and your soul and your emotions. When your parents don't know that, like mine, I don't blame them. They didn't know what to do. When I got angry or scared, they didn't know what to do. You know, they were punishing this out of me. But I did not have the words to say, my parents did not teach me emotional regulation. How can I? I don't even know what that is, you know? But at this seminar, you find out all the things that did not happen, you know? Feeling validated, feeling worthwhile, feeling connected and accepted, having a place in your family, you know? So many people have a, how can I say, they have no home at home. They are homeless in their own families because it takes a little bit more than a roof and food to make a home. And unfortunately, many people have big black holes instead of being full of love, being full of self-confidence, having self-care, knowing how to self-care. If my parents don't teach me self-care and they only teach me food and television, how am I going to learn how to look after myself? How am I going to be compassionate with myself and my emotions? How am I going to ask for help when I have a tough time, when it wasn't safe to do that in my family, you know? If I was shamed, ridiculed, or punished when I was asking for my needs to be met, when I needed a hug, or when I was so furious and so angry, and people could not hold this, could not support me, how am I supposed to learn that? How am I supposed to learn what healthy anger does, what good boundaries, good aggression is when I have no experience with that? I can't even talk about that because I don't know. And then you get these mute, stumm, I don't know kids because they can't tell you what they need. They can't tell you what's missing because they have no experience of that. And this is why the inner child work is very tender. You know, we are looking at that tender part inside. Because the anger is mostly secondary. Behind that anger very often is this sad, lonely, tender part that we're just trying to protect with the anger. And when we open towards this tender part of ourselves, you know, that vulnerable, weak one, oh man, because you're an adult now, I'm an adult now, okay? We can stand up for ourselves, but we need to stand up for this little weak, tender, vulnerable one.
Inside.
Yes, and when we own our inner child, then all of a sudden our adult can grow much bigger. And then we can also be better parents. So funny enough, when we started with the inner child work, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, first we had the parents being interested, and then they start bringing their children, and they started bringing their partners. And now at the inner child event, we have like 50% family. So people bring their own children, bring their brothers and sisters, bring their spouses, because they realize the fights we're having as adults are not a conscious conflict about resources, but they are two inner children.
Inner children. Oh, okay.
You know?
I see. That sounds great. That sounds really interesting. Well, Dorothe, I can't believe I haven't been to any of your events yet. We spoke about it before we started this interview, that we've just been traveling for 3.5 years now, and I just have never had a chance to be anywhere. So I'm so looking forward to probably next year, because you're traveling again, to see you in person and to go through this with you. We've been on one of your live events, and it was great. We were dancing and shaking in our living room with my mom and my friend and my wife and other people.
See, whole family.
Oh, yeah, you
Team
brought
family.
our family together. But it was an online event, so I'm so much looking forward to the live events. Dorothe, thank you. Thanks very much for this interview.
A pleasure.
It's so nice to talk to you, to listen to you, to listen to your wisdom, to your experience, and it's just so much touching. Everything I just live, my family, my parents, the experience we've had, and I would like to thank you so much for being the light worker, because
Thank
I
you.
just, I'm so grateful for people like you who are bringing the ways for people to live better lives, to just get rid of their traumas and show their emotions. And just thank you. Thanks very much for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my passion. I'm really passionate about life, and that wasn't always the case. And this is why I don't think there's anything more precious than seeing this light coming up in somebody when they come out of depression, come out of the sadness and the grief, and they open to life again. And this is like, oh, I'm having goosebumps again, because this is why body whispering is so. You spread life, and this is. I mean, you do too, and I envy you with the traveling with the family. Oh my God! And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Dorothe. Thanks for a beautiful interview. And for you who are watching us, take a look at what Dorothe Trassl does. And you definitely find somewhere around this video links to the events. So take a look at that and just be there. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dorothe. Thanks. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.